hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we're super excited to have you here with us as we talk about some of our favorite webcomic moments that have been coming up recently, as well as maybe some disappointing ones, and just essentially what has us the most excited. There's a lot going on in the webcomic world. Alex and I kind of fell behind with some of our reading for a bit.
I would say more than kind of fell behind. We maybe took a bit of a break from reading.
A little bit of a detour. There was a lot going on. So
And it's not even that we weren't reading, it's just that we weren't keeping up with what we were currently reading and reading new things instead.
I know, which is the forever debacle of just the falling way behind, and now you just have even more series to keep up with.
Yep.
So that's kind of where we're at. However, Alex and I are mostly caught up now.
We are. I am officially caught up with everything on Manta and on Webtoon.
That's exciting. I'm not, but I have now started on an entirely new platform as well. So I'm less caught up than I was before. But super excited to have gotten to start on reading Leeson comics as well, because there's some pretty good stuff on there. It's a little spicy. there's a little bit of extra spice there for a lot of them. So that's my reading choice.
Yeah.
I guess you don't have to read spicy comics on Leeson, but they're available.
If you want.
So anyways, today we're going to share with you some of the things that have us extremely excited, things we've loved, things we've hated, and just kind of go forward from there. So Alex, what was your favorite moment in the webcomic world most recently?
Okay, so my favorite moment recently, and this is a few episodes that are my favorite moment, is just what's been happening in Winter Wolf.
So it's a good one.
I think we've talked about Winter Wolf before, at least a little bit. But that one is one of my favorites. I love the mystery, the twist in the house that they were in before, but we are well past that.
We are
now into the fluff.
I know.
Of Ian and Lysithea, and I am loving it. So my favorite moment is, I think, 3 episodes long at this point, but it starts after they were robbed at the top of the mountain. So they don't have, and they were left at the top of the mountain by the guy who didn't understand that they didn't want to stay at the top of the mountain. They would like a ride to the next town.
Didn't he understand though?
Well, maybe he understood and didn't care.
Yeah. There we go. We got there.
Anyway, so he left them. He abandoned them. They had the interaction with the thieves who thought that they would be easy to take advantage of because it's just the two of them up in this abandoned shack. And then we start to see them coming down from the mountain. Ian is shirtless. He's got a gun. He's like walking down the mountain, and he runs in to a young man. And this young man says, probably my favorite thing ever. This takes a little bit of a backstory about us personally, but I had to call Annie. There were so many moments that I was saving up when I was thinking, okay, this moment was great, but I'll save it for the podcast. This moment, I could not save for the podcast. I had to call you immediately because the side character who's in one scene, one panel only, said, "Please, I have a family."
Doesn't sound familiar.
Now, who says, "Please, I have a family" to me probably 10 times a day?
Me. With like no need whatsoever. It's literally just, I don't want to go to the gym. Please, I have a family.
Please, I have a family. And so this was just like a great, pleasant surprise for me to see that in the comic. And I immediately called you, said that was great. But then even outside of that, just the following episodes of them going to this town, they're having their sweet moment where you get to see Ian and you get to see the kind of alternate reality of like, what if they had met when they were young? So it's like both of them as younger kids meeting, and basically Lysithea is just like gets Ian's backstory of how he's never had any comfort, he's never had a home, he's kind of always just gone from place to place, and she's like, I want to give you this comfort. And then where we are right now in the most recent episode at the end, Lysithea has gone missing again, and it's raining, so she's like, okay, I'm going to go hide under this bridge and just wait for the rain to pass before I find Ian again. And then Ian finds her under the bridge. They end up going back to the place that they're staying, and Ian gets sick. And Lysithea is going to take care of him, and that is a great trope. We love a good sick trope.
Yeah, I mean, it happened earlier in the series, but in reverse.
In reverse. And they even call it out. They're saying, oh, this is kind of like what happened when we were at the abandoned mansion. Only now we're in a new town. We get to say that we're married now. And it's just like in such a happy, fluffy place right now. They're blushing all the time. They're so in love, and I love it.
I know. I hate to cut your fluff, but very much so. As soon as I read it, I had a very different reaction.
Oh, no.
Because with the mystery element that exists within Winterwolf, like, again, we saw her have the fever and then something hit. Like, something actually bad did happen. And so I feel like we're getting set up for that to happen again.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that. I probably should have. This is kind of one of those fool me once, shame on me. Shame
on you both times.
Shame on me both times. Well, that's okay. Shame on me for not thinking about it. But I just assumed we've had the big mystery. Like, we're kind of winding down.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I don't know this story. We could be winding up for a second mystery. Who knows? Maybe, you know what, if it is, I wonder if it's going to be someone recognizing them, because they were talking about how, oh, we're far enough away, no one's going to recognize us. And that could be a little teaser that someone is going to recognize them. It's going to get back to Lysithea's aunt, and that could be the next trouble.
I know. I think that they're going to have a little bit more trouble on the horizon, but I'm here for the fluff. I'm all for the fluff and them dancing around and her wearing the flower crown.
So cute. And teaching all of the kids by the fountain about the flowers.
It was so sweet.
I loved it. Such a good couple of episodes. If you're not caught up with Winterwolf, or if you haven't read Winterwolf, it is a great mystery romance.
Yeah, which is really great. I think that mystery romance is kind of a combination we don't read often. Mm-hmm. So I'm here for it. Yeah, why not? So kind of along those same lines, one of my favorite moments this week was also pretty much a fluff piece. Mm-hmm. For anybody who is not caught up already, Dangerous Convenience Store is now in its bonus episodes. So we've seen the end of the season, which was a very cathartic one for me. I feel like it had enough kind of winding down that it just felt complete, which I love. I love when a series does that. Shout out to Secondo Piatto also. It just was one that the ending felt right. Mm-hmm. But so we're in bonus episode 2. And anybody who's listened to the podcast before knows that I could essentially have bonus episodes for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Like, I want to see them go to the grocery store. I want to see them just having a movie night at home. Anything and everything that they do as like the sweetest couple ever. I'm here for that. Mm-hmm. But in support of my favorite moment, in the most recent bonus episodes, Weijun and Jianyu decide that they are going to take a trip together, but with the pretense that Weijun gets to drive. He does not drive, has not driven, and essentially Jianyu is now teaching him how to drive. I love this side story. I remember the stress of learning how to drive.
Oh my gosh, don't we all?
Jianyu's a great teacher, except for the fact that Weijun immediately scratches the car as he's pulling out of the parking spot. So he's in a little bit of trouble probably. But ultimately, I love that he's driving around. He and Jianyu are essentially experiencing this moment together. Mm-hmm. It's a very sweet growth moment for the both of them. And in the latest episode, there is another driver that gets cut off by Weijun while he's trying to learn how to drive. And he gets out of the car and approaches the window in like a moment of rage. Like, what do you think you're doing? Who drives like that, etc. And as he rolls down the window, he just sees Jianyu staring at him from the passenger seat with, I swear to you, the meanest look I've ever seen.
Seething. You can see the waves coming off of him in the comic panel. I love it.
It's so good. And so he goes from approaching extremely aggressive and angry to being like, oh, we've all learned how to drive before. Yeah, good luck. You keep driving safe now. And Weijun goes, wow, he's such a nice guy. I love their dynamic. I love to see just our sweet little Weijun like being protected even when he doesn't even notice it. Like Jianu's always looking out for him, and I love their dynamic so much. So I think the bonus episodes are going great. It's been my favorite moment so far.
I have to agree. That was definitely up there in the choices for me. The fluff, the like grumpy sunshine dynamic. I just love them so much. And they had to go through so much to get to where they are.
No kidding. The growth for their characters and the development in general of the story, it really was wonderful. I did also notice after starting on Leeson Comics that there is an 18 plus version of Dangerous Convenience Store. I'm not sure. Like, I love the story as is, so I don't feel entirely obligated to read it off Leeson, but I have to admit my curiosity is piqued.
Yeah. I could start over and read it again. It was such a good one.
I would read it many times over, so just keep the comic going and I don't have to. Yeah. There you go.
Bonus episode 100.
Yeah, no kidding. Just keep it going. Almost kind of like a series that we read where the epilogue was maybe like, I don't know, like 40 episodes long.
Oh my gosh.
Shape of Sympathy.
But it was not a happy 40 episodes.
It was not. It was a tragic 40 episodes. Maybe that should be my favorite moment. I don't have to read such a tragic story anymore.
Gosh, I know. And I mean, we won't get into this. We have gotten into this so many times. I loved it so much. And then the epilogue came and I hated it.
I know.
I hated the epilogue.
I always just gave you a bunch of crap because you were the one who told me to read it.
I know.
And then I had to read it. I had to see how it ended.
I know. Well, but at the beginning, at least, it was tragedy, but it wasn't just like, I don't know. It just kept getting worse and worse.
It just evolved into madness.
It was just chaos.
If you've read Shape of Sympathy, you know exactly what we're talking about. And if you haven't, it's not that it's like the worst story I've ever read, but just know you are buckling up for a tragic story that kind of ends in a tragic place.
Yeah, you don't feel good about the characters at the end. You just feel sad for them.
Yeah. No spoilers or anything, but mood spoiler.
Yeah, mood spoiler. It's sad and it gets sadder.
Yeah, so there you go. And speaking of sad, there have been a couple of moments that maybe aren't our favorite in the webcomics that we've been reading so far.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what has been one of your most disappointing?
All right. So, this is another one. You know what? Last time we did this kind of, favorite, disappointing, and excited for setup, my most disappointing was that Secondo Piatto was over. But it was over, but it was like, it was okay because it ended in a good place. Mm-hmm. The story felt complete. This is my most disappointing moment of Salvation, which is another one. I'm disappointed that it ended. But I'm disappointed that it ended, and I don't feel like I got the closure I needed for the story.
I hate that.
So I'm disappointed all around.
I know. I will say, I have not read Salvation.
Yeah. So this will probably contain a decent amount of spoilers because I'm going to give you some of the story just so you can see where it ended, and because I don't think you're going to read it.
Probably not.
So it starts off with Minu, who is just walking around. He's in our time, in our day and age, all of that. And he's having trouble. He's alone. And he is walking on this path. Mm-hmm. And he falls into a pond. It's icy. It's winter out. He thinks that he's going to drown.
Yeah.
And that's like the last thing he remembers. Then he wakes up and he's like in a bed somewhere. And he's in Ubraid, which is like a fantasy style place. Mm-hmm. Everyone thinks that he looks crazy in his normal clothes. They're wearing like very fantasy-esque clothing. So actually before that, he has a vision. He meets the Golden Dragon.
Okay.
Who is like a dragon, but in a human form.
Okay.
And the dragon tells him, you're going to meet someone who looks exactly like me, and tells him about like what is going to happen to him. So he ends up waking up. He's got like all these servants around him, and he comes to find out that he is believed to be a person from the Lunari. Mm-hmm. And so it's like a magical land. There's a prophecy that the Lunari has come to save Ubraid.
Okay.
And has to be married to the Emperor Sioen. And so Sioen is like also very yandere, super just like very manipulative.
Okay.
Throughout the whole thing.
Does he look like a dragon by chance?
He looks like a dragon. So basically, and then people are like, oh, why? They know that he is like the human version of the dragon. Like he shares the dragon's life. I don't know exactly.
Like
I can't remember.
Bloodline, something
like that. It's like he has a piece of the dragon, so he is not like, he will live longer than everyone else. He is fated to be like this dragon, basically.
Okay.
He's the human companion to the dragon.
Got it.
And they look identical, except for the golden dragon has long, blonde, straight hair, and Siowen has like beautiful curls. I mean, more waves than curls, but you know, a little body in his hair.
He uses a good shampoo.
He uses a really good shampoo. I gotta figure out what it is.
So funny.
And so he starts going to Manu and saying, you are going to be my spouse. Like, we're going to get married. This is the prophecy as everything is. And then a lot of stuff happens. Manu is like, no, I don't want to do that. And then eventually agrees to do it. He thinks that the world is harsh. Emperor Siowen is like known for killing people. Like he's known as being a brutal emperor. He came into power in like a very traumatic way. There's just a lot going on. There's another religion that there's like a temple who's against the emperor, and the temple spreads this disease that they call God's disease, and like says, but they have like spread the disease, so they're using that to like wield power and authority against the common people.
Fear.
Yeah, basically saying like they give the disease and then they take it away, so that, you know, they have the power of saying like, we cured this. And so that's like a whole thing that happens. But basically Siowen the whole time is like trying to win over Minu and saying like, he ends up taking a lot of care of himself, like doing all of his skincare routine, doing his hair and stuff, because he realizes that Minu like really thinks that he's pretty and is like, oh, well, if you like me being pretty, I'm going to be very pretty.
Yeah. And
so does that at first. And then he says that he'll send Minu home eventually, but he has no intention of sending him home. And so there's just like a whole bunch of stuff. They do this ceremony. They end up getting married. They do a ceremony. The language that they're speaking in the ceremony, Minu doesn't understand, but apparently it binds him to this world, and he doesn't know. So basically, Siowen is like, yes, you can go home eventually,
so
knowing that he's never going to send him home. No. It would frustrate you so much.
Yeah, that would frustrate me a lot.
So, and the whole time, Minu is kind of oblivious to this. Like, he ends up falling in love with Emperor Siowen, but he doesn't know what's going on, truly. Like, he really is in the dark about this, and he's manipulated the whole time.
Yeah.
And you think, like, okay, it's going to come out. He's going to end up finding out that he's been lied to, that all of this stuff is happening to him, and that he's basically been tricked into thinking that it's his decision. And so eventually he tells Siowen, like, I have to go home, because he's like sick in this world. They tell him that he's only got a couple of years to live. And he's like, I need to go home. I need to go back to my world. Like, I can't do this. And then it turns out that like they do this whole ceremony and everything. And Siowen is like, don't look back at me during this ceremony, like, you just have to go home. You can't look at me. And he ends up looking at him and then seeing that Siowen is like going to sacrifice himself to send Minu home. But we know, as the readers, and Siowen knows, that he has no intention of sacrificing himself. He just knows that Minu is going to look at him and like not let him sacrifice himself and end up staying in this world.
I hate it.
He ends up staying. That is the end. I mean, I cut out a ton of stuff.
That's the end of the series?
That's the end. That is
Minu
the end.
chooses to stay, and that's it?
Minu chooses to stay. He never finds out that the emperor has lied to him and manipulated him the whole time. And it's over.
That's my least favorite moment, and I didn't even read it.
There are so many like side plots that never get answered. There's just so much going on. Like, honestly, I'm just disappointed that it felt rushed.
I have experienced this disappointment before in my life because there was a series called My Dear Maid on Manta, and people who, OG Manta readers, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about because it was a good one. It started out really good. It had me gripped, and it was about this girl who was of like no importance. She just grew up poor, etc. Ends up saving the princess, and I mean, so much other stuff happens. She ends up falling in love with the prince or whatever he is. Like, maybe he's the king now because I think their father had passed away. It's been a long time since it's been on Manta. But essentially she thinks he's a priest because he used to like get away with leaving the castle dressed as a priest. And so that's how she meets him. And she ends up essentially falling in love with him as this prince, and they like grow really close together. And then it ends by her being in trouble and he rescues her. And when she wakes up, the prince goes, "I've loved you all this time. I'm not the priest. I'm the prince or the king." And she just goes, "Oh, well, I don't love you." The end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that sounds on par with my disappointment with Salvation. It's not how I wanted it to end. It's not even that it's not how I wanted it to end. I can deal with endings.
It was just unresolved.
It's unresolved. Unresolved. It feels incomplete.
I know. The rushed endings are always really sad.
Yeah. And I liked this story a lot going through it. It's just it felt so rushed at the end. So
that really sucks.
I'm
I'm
disappointed.
sorry. I'm sorry you're going through this.
Thank you.
And to anybody in the listening audience who might have also read this, I'm sorry for you.
Or My Dear Maid.
Yeah, no kidding. I've still not gotten over it, and it's been gone for like almost a year.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But in any case, I am sorry you had to go through that. Rushed endings are never any fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just sounds like it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
You never know. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes it's like the artist or something can't keep going, etc.
Yeah, and I don't know. It could be how the story actually ends. I've never read if it is, a novel first. I haven't read the novel. Maybe that is. Maybe there's always more you can fit into a novel that makes it make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might try and reread it and see if I can make sense of some stuff, but I probably won't. There's so much other stuff I have to read.
Look at the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
The spreadsheet of hundreds of titles.
The spreadsheet that is really approaching 400 very quickly.
It really is. It's kind of scary. So kind of along those same lines, I mean, there were a couple of different disappointing moments for me as well after kind of catching up. But I'd have to say I've narrowed it down to like two things specifically that have had me really pretty upset. So the first one was on episode 91 of Semantic Error. It came out like a week or so ago. And I just have to say, Songwoo keeps running away from Jaeyoung. And it kind of makes me sad.
It makes me sad. It's starting to make me a little pissed.
Yeah, I'm a little pissed. To be fair, so is Jaeyoung.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting there chasing after him saying, "You little shit." And I do find that cathartic.
I did like that part. But I agree that whole thing, like, the first time he ran away, I can handle that as a plot once. The second time, I don't want it again.
Here's the thing. I'm all for like trying to visually show people that you're like running away from your problems, but he's physically running away from his problems.
And he needs to stop.
Yeah, he needs to stop. I mean, it's good exercise, but please.
Yeah.
Please, sir, we want a happy ending.
Sir, please.
So that was definitely one moment where I was just like, no, just say what you feel, which is so funny because I feel like that's usually you.
That is me.
But I am feeling that very strongly with this one. But lastly, we're at end of season 3 for Finding Camellia. And I know I had an entire episode to talk about how I hated all of the differences.
Yeah.
But more differences have happened since then. And I've not talked about my conspiracy. No, I mean, we got to the end of season 3. If you've read the novel, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And if you haven't caught up on the webcomic or the novel, this may be some new information for you. So apologies for spoilers. But essentially, you know, Camellia has always kind of had this Ian versus Claude, like both of them pursuing her, both in the novel and in the webcomic. However, they've changed so much of what has happened that now ending season 3 and then eventually going into season 4, I don't really know what the conflict is going to be.
Yeah.
So, but like I'm upset about it just because I loved the novel so much. And so it is one of my least favorite moments because essentially they had Ian say that he wished for Camellia to kiss him. And this isn't how any of it goes. Like in the novel, Ian forces a kiss on Camellia and she's extremely uncomfortable and like becomes withdrawn. And he eventually kind of sees the error of his ways, but he gladly takes up the Lord Bale's offer of take her hand in marriage and take her to Gaior. He gladly takes that offer, even knowing that Camellia and Claude are desperately in love with each other. He's just like, I honestly don't care about their feelings as much as I just want Camellia for my own because I've been trying to pursue her. And so now I get her, and that just feels good for me. And so that is why he's kind of that morally gray character. And I feel like they're taking a lot of that away from him. But also, they've built up Claude to be this person who dismisses Camellia and everything else. And in the novel, he's so much more supportive. And Camellia is such a stronger character. She's so much more headstrong and stubborn. I feel like a lot of the direction they've taken with the story is going to take away from what season 4 could have been because there were so many conflicts that end up coming to a great resolve. And now I mean, we're getting quite a few of those taken away from us.
Yeah. I know that you're disappointed. I know. But I have to say, there was a moment that I loved. I love Ian. I loved him in the novel, even though he was way more morally gray. I love him in the comic. I loved the moment when Wade and Ian and Claude all came to Camelia's defense.
It was a good moment, except it's just, I mean, I will say that is pretty accurate with the novel. She literally had Ian and Claude kissing each of her other hands.
Yeah.
Like she's just sitting there like, I own these bitches. But like at the same time, it's just not accurate to the story. I will say, I have a theory that this is being written by somebody who is Team Ian.
Me.
You're secretly though.
It's me. I'm secretly a really, really talented artist.
I can't believe you've hidden it all this time. Yeah, I mean, again, art is beautiful. I still love the story and I want to see what happens with season 4. But just for a season 3 ending, because of how much has changed in this season specifically, I think it's going to take away from the ending. So it has me a little nervous.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens in season 4.
If she ends up with Ian, I need to know where I can submit my complaints.
If she ends up with Ian, oh my gosh.
This will become Alex's new favorite.
This will be my new favorite story. That would be a twist.
That would be a twist. It would be. But don't.
Then you would really think that I wrote it.
I really would think you wrote it. If this ends up happening, I need to know where I can submit my complaints.
It's me. You can submit them to me.
You're that Taylor Swift song. You're the problem. It's you.
Yeah.
Well, with as much disappointment as we've been experiencing, there are also a lot of moments that I know we're excited for. So what has you excited looking forward to some new episodes?
Okay, so what I am looking forward to the most is the return of Adeline's Darkest Night on December 7th. So that is coming up pretty quickly. It is. I am very excited. Where we left off, it's on hiatus right now. And where we left off is with Adeline has gone to search for Hela because Hela was taken from her while they're on their other search. They're already searching for the Devas that are sleeping in the ice. And so they're looking for the Devas, and then all of a sudden Hela disappears. Turns out Hela was taken by a Deva who named Demille, and she has been killing women just from the village. That's a huge serial killer problem.
She was demented.
She was bathing in their blood.
Yeah, I mean, it was not.
It was crazy. And Hella has a moment when she's been captured by Demille and is like, I could tell her that I'm a prophet and she will send me back to Filbert, who is her previous captor, Asios. And then she thinks, no, I can't do that to Adeline, which I love. I love Adeline so much. The character growth. But a couple of things happen in this most recent episode that have me excited to see what's coming up next. So one, Wakan kills Demille, or Adeline does. I can't remember.
Adeline does it.
Does Adeline
she
do
goes, I have more separation from this. I won't make you kill somebody of your own kind.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Wakan originally is like defending her and saying she helped so much during the war until he finds out that she is working with the Suos.
His heart was broken.
His heart was broken, and he just sees this as like, how could you do this? How could you abandon your kind to work for the enemy just because they have won the war? Mm-hmm. So that happened. They leave there, and Adeline is like sleeping in a tent with Hella. Mm-hmm. And Hella has a vision from the past where she's talking to, who is she talking to?
I don't remember.
She's talking to one of the Devas and saying, like, why does Ray love her? How could he love someone so weak? And then she wakes up and she's like, that's so weird. Why did I have this? How could I have this dream about Adeline? Like, that is what, she's not weak. And like, I have no ill will towards her.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing that happened with Ray previously when Ray slept in the same room with her. So there's something about like being around her in your dreams that made them have visions of her from their past lives. So I'm really interested to see if they explore that more. And then Ray, while this is happening, is off trying to purchase land. He's working with Baroness Lillian Hess and trying to purchase land so that he can build an army, because Adeline is going to get the remaining Devas. They're going to start an army, and this is going to be war.
Yeah. It's kind of coming to one of those heads.
Yeah.
I'm so curious how it's all going to just devolve. I do think it's probably getting close to end of series.
I know, but you said this before.
I did.
And you were wrong.
I was. I'm honestly wrong often. So literally no one take my advice.
I hope you're wrong, because this is another one where I could just watch Adeline and Ray live their happy lives after the war is over.
I do love how much trust Ray has in her.
He has so much trust in her, and she loves him so much. They just have such a great relationship. I adore Adeline. She's one of my favorite characters. She's so strong and has just taken this opportunity of, she remembers her past life when she didn't do all of these things before and how she could change her fate, and I just love it so much. I'm so excited that it's coming back. No regrets.
Yeah, she's just moving forward, living her best life.
Yeah, and she doesn't even blame the people in the past. She's like, circumstances were different. I treated you differently. You treated me differently. Like, she doesn't hold it against Hella, that Hella was not good to her. She doesn't hold it against any of the other Devas or Ray. She just moves on.
Yeah. Which is not something I could ever say for me.
I know.
In that same position.
She's so strong.
You
so
go, girl.
Brave.
You're so brave. But yeah, I do think Adeline is a wonderful character. Yeah. I think the story will be going in some really good directions. And I will say, the plot twist of finding Hella with a Deva.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty wild place to leave off at a hiatus.
Is. Also, I just remembered who Hella was talking to in the vision. It was Aster.
Oh, there we go. We got there.
I had to say it because it came into my mind.
We just had to piece it there. It's okay. So fun. Well, I know that there are definitely some moments I'm really excited for in other webcomics, but the one that has me the most excited is Betrayal of Dignity. Not that this is going to surprise anyone, but we've had some really good fluff leading into this episode 40 now. Mm-hmm. And one, I've loved it. I've loved every second. I'm just sitting there like soaking it all in, because I know from all these people who are commenting that shit's going to hit the fan.
Oh my gosh.
And I need this fluff.
People on Reddit are still talking about his lips.
Leave him alone.
They're saying that it's better now, so it's okay.
Leave Brittany alone. No, I love Damien. His lips are better.
They are better.
So get off his case.
No, people are saying, like, they look better now.
Yeah.
It's a much better reader experience.
I will say, it's a much better reader experience. And I will also say, this little fluff has been a better reader experience because it almost makes you forget how disgusting and manipulative he is.
Almost, but not quite.
Not quite. But, like, I don't know. It doesn't feel as much as, like, rolling out the red flag carpet for, like, the worst male lead.
I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I know. It's going to. So for anybody who's not caught up, obviously we've had a little bit of fluff. So coming back from season 2, we see that Chloe and Damien have built quite the intimate relationship with one another. Mm-hmm. We see it in, I would approximate, almost every single episode so far this season. And though there have been some moments where, you know, Gilles ends up getting sent away from the Von Thies manor, things like that, you do see cute little moments where Chloe wants stamps with her husband on them. So she buys an entire bag of stamps because seeing his face in person isn't enough. And, you know, they stay in an inn together. He goes and agrees to visit with her family when they miss the train. And ultimately, like, they are just working so well together. We get to see Damien in what is seemingly, you know, obviously with not our reader knowledge, but on the outside is a seemingly extremely healthy and adorable marriage. And essentially everything is kind of devolving into madness now because in the most recent episode, you find out not only is Chloe pregnant, but the king has just passed away. And now we have to figure out if Damien or Prince Johannes is going to take their place.
I mean, it was just bombshell after bombshell in that last episode.
It really was. I also don't think that Damien's reaction to Chloe being pregnant was exactly what she was hoping for.
I don't think so. Okay. Do you think, I feel like we're going to have differing opinions here. Do you think that he has been his true self in those fluffy moments?
Yes.
Or do you think it's okay? So you think that
I will die on this cross.
I can't get it out of my head that he's still manipulating her, that it's all a part of an act. It just doesn't feel real to me.
It feels real to me. It feels too real to me, which is why I'm like, oh, it's gonna be real bad when she finds out what you did.
It is. And I mean, I don't know, I just can't get past knowing that he tricked her before.
You mean framed her for murder?
Yeah.
You can't get past that little tiny detail.
I guess that is a pretty big detail to get past. But I just still feel like if he framed her for murder, then him acting so nice and sweet is just to get what he wants.
I mean, I think in a certain sense, like, he knows that it will benefit him better to be a good husband. But I do genuinely think this is him working to be a better husband.
Yeah, I don't know.
I still stand by it. Season 1 finale, I don't think that he specifically did what he did just to sleep with Chloe. Like, I really do think it was genuine surprise that she went back to his room and did that. I think he knew she would feel indebted to him.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew that it would build an affection like it did.
But he knew that this is how he gets control of her.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't think he knew he'd get that control of her. And I think he's happy with the fact that they have a relationship.
I think he's happy with the fact that he can control her.
Probably both. If we're being honest, probably both. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a toxic male lead. I'm just saying he's extremely entertaining.
Oh my gosh. You're not wrong. And I mean, this is the salvation thing too, is like, if Chloe never finds out about the attempted murder framing, I will be just,
she has to find out.
That will be another most disappointing moment for me. Because
you better not.
I can't think of them going into the rest of their lives not knowing that this huge important thing, that they're being manipulated.
This huge betrayal.
I just feel the same for Manu as I do for Chloe. They're both being manipulated.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
I just want the shoe to drop. But I mean, that's what I'm most excited for. It feels like
it's going to happen.
It's about to devolve into madness.
I mean, it's chaos.
Absolute chaos. And I am here for it 100%. So last but very much not least, I decided to add kind of a different category as well because Alex and I kind of had a bombshell shocking moment in one of our webcomics that we're reading. And so I think that we should just label this as like most shocking twist in a webcomic as of late.
Yes.
But Alex, would you like to tell us what happened?
Okay. So, Trophy Husband. The last 2 episodes, so not the most recent episode that just came out, but the one before that, we found out that her best friend from her previous life was Rita Arena. That's not her name.
Rita.
Arena. I was like, it's not Arena.
No, it's not.
But that she asked the dragon to take her heart to save her friend. And she didn't actually lose her heart. So this was a huge bombshell. I think we all thought that Rico was going to be her friend.
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that I wasn't extremely embarrassed, that I hoped Rico was the friend and that it became a best friends to lovers, but in another world.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, the best friends just love and know each other so much.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. I mean, I swear I read this most recent episode, which literally came out as of recording today.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, the entire thing about how essentially Serena or Sehyun in the previous life literally said, I will give you my heart to save Hyeon. And she's just upset. She's like, I wanted to die and perish. Like living this second life where I'm without my family. I'm without all of these different comforts.
And she's been there longer.
Yeah,
too.
for 10 years.
10 years more?
10 years more. And so, you know, she's just looking for essentially a way to be back with her family and realizes she's trapped and blames it on Sehyun or Serena.
Yeah. And she says that she has been going through thinking that she's the main character essentially and that she is going to make all of these changes, like do the best that she can for her people and be this like great person for them.
And none of it matters.
And none of it mattered because Serena comes in and kind of takes over.
Yeah. I mean, she takes over, and not only that, but essentially what they touch on is, Serena, you're not innocent in any of this. You've claimed you have no heart. And realistically, like all you did is you've become I don't even know what the word is, like the owner of this dragon's heart. Like you have a heart beating within you. You have all of this power. You killed so many innocent people and blamed it on not having a heart. And realistically, it's all just a facade because that was your excuse to continue doing all of these horrible things. And realistically, like, you're worse than I am.
Yeah. So end of episode that came out today, she's talking to the dragon, and the dragon is basically like, you are in this in-between space right now with me, and you can go back to any space and time that you want. And so she says that she wants to go back and do it all over again and do it differently.
I know.
And I mean, like, most shocking moment, but also I think another most excited for a moment for both of us to see where is the story going from here.
I know. I did not see it coming. I was completely shocked. I read it and I mean, my mouth was hanging open.
Yeah.
I just could not believe it. And honestly, I am excited to see where it does end up going because I know, like, last we saw Rico, he's brokenhearted.
Oh, that panel of him crying was just so sad.
He just realizes that no matter how much he waits for Serena, she's so much trying to run away from her life in this world that he goes, no amount of waiting would mean that you stay with me, would it? And he just comes to that realization and is broken.
It's so sad.
I mean, Rico is goals. He's our favorite green flag male.
He's so sweet.
So I am extremely hopeful for how the story is going to go. I'm hoping that Rico and Serena and Rita just kind of get a second chance at how to redo this life and how to find happiness there.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I hope that Rico and Serena end up together.
Me too.
Though not all of my hopes and dreams come true. Claude. But it's okay.
Team Ian.
Oh my gosh. I can't with you. So, in any case, thank you all for joining us about some of our most exciting, favorite moments, some of our least favorite moments, and hopefully you've enjoyed some of these moments as well. If you haven't read some of these webcomics, we highly recommend it. They've definitely had us on the edge of our seat lately. And, you know, keep us posted on what webcomics you're reading and what has you excited or not so excited so that we know maybe what to avoid. But thank you for joining us, and we hope to talk to you on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.